All right, so here we are, episode 24 of Strong and Petty.
Yay!
Hey, 6 months.
Back just to the what's that?
6 months.
6 months,
Give or take.
Yeah. Back to just the original
Almost.
Three Amigos here. No more guests this week. We had Magnus, he was great. We had Jefferson and Tristan, they were both great, even though we were
Mediocre.
no, well, we were short of Mike. We were the mediocre ones.
Yeah, we're short of Mike.
Yeah.
Camera died halfway.
Yeah, so thanks to them for coming out and helping us out with those episodes. That was awesome. That was really fun. So we're moving on to our next. What, you said you had something you want to talk about? Before we got into anything.
Yeah.
Let's open up the show with.
First of all, how are you, Devin? How are you, Beeks?
How are you, Tyler?
I'm great.
Beeks.
Anyway, go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tristan really bitched me in that episode. We had a poor seating arrangement.
Fuck.
And to be alive if you can't do that.
He made us all
Holy
look like
shit! Did you
children.
look like he just had a kid with a beard?
Yeah, he was fucking. I mean, he is massive, which is part of the problem.
Yeah.
And then it really adds to the problem when you have him sitting like closest to the camera. We're all. He made Jeffers look small even.
He did what
Jeffers
Kevin Hart does in every picture.
Yeah, absolutely.
But he didn't need
Well, he
to.
also
moved right
made
to the front
he
of
also
it.
made Jeffers look weak that day too.
That's true.
No,
That's
I'm
very
kidding.
true.
Did he?
Tristan won.
Tristan won.
Yeah.
And it was a pretty dominating performance, man. It was like I think he won every event except for the last one, which he didn't have to finish.
I thought
Like,
they'd be back and forth. I really thought those two would be a back and forth. I didn't know the guys in the stealth, so
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
Tristan was just like he was
on.
this season he's been like turning it up a little bit more each competition, and that was really his like holy shit, like he's really untouchable in this one. And to be honest with you, Jeffers was not like really all there. I don't think
He didn't strike me as being all there.
no, yeah,
Pretty dumb.
yeah, he's
no.
not,
But he had said he was dealing with a hamstring issue
yeah,
he's
competing too much, and he's gonna learn that lesson one way or another. That
What,
he's gotta
what,
slow
what
down
did he
a
say on the
little bit.
podcast? Yeah, my coach told me I can't get stronger from comp to comp, and I should slow down. But
Say,
we got
what-
4
what-
comps
what
in
the
a
fuck
row.
does he know?
Yeah.
But
We
I
only
think,
learn one way.
but I think that the thing is, I think Jeffers knows that he
He
knows
does,
that it's
for
time for him
sure.
to take a break. But it's just he's got a competitor spirit. He doesn't want to do it, and it's easier to say yes to something than to say no to it sometimes. You know what I mean? Like when someone offers you a competition, and so he did SAS Strongest like the week after and didn't win that one. Isaac Mays won that one.
Wow.
Which was I wouldn't even call that really an upset because Isaac is he's like the 3-time SAS Strongest man. But
And the events were good for Isaac as well.
Yeah.
I mean, they were good for, but
he also signed it the day of the competition.
Isaac did. Yeah,
He wasn't sure that he was going to be doing it until the day of. He wasn't sure if he would get work off.
He's just an animal.
They
Isaac.
added a surprise event to the competition, which was like keg press medley. It was
Isaac did in 27
he
seconds.
crushed
The next
it,
closest
yeah.
was 42, I think, or something.
he
Head
crushed
press
it.
Sucks.
Yeah, and it was a really great competition for Isaac and Jeffers. I think maybe showed the same thing a little bit where he just looked a step behind, and I don't mean that as even a slight to him, which is like something that I like to do, but it just didn't have the gas in the tank. I don't think after Gimli and after all the stuff he's been doing, I think he just needs a little bit of time, and he's not getting it because this weekend Tristan and Jeffers and several of the guys out east, but those are our Western boys, are at the Shaw Classic this weekend.
Yeah.
Which is
crazy.
which they've just dubbed like the pro, like the invite version of that is like the strongest man on earth. They're calling it now. So they're trying to give, and they're making the Shaw Classic, I guess, kind of like an Arnold-esque sort of thing where they have like arm wrestling and all this other shit now.
Cool.
So they're really trying to push that as like the new big thing in strongman, where it's almost like a cross between the Arnolds and World's Strongest, which is like pretty wild.
Yeah.
Because we know that. I mean, maybe you don't know Beeks, but Brian Shaw has some opinions on Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I didn't know that actually.
The screw your freedom thing.
Oh, yeah, I
Remember
remember
that?
that.
No.
Well, during the COVID shit, Arnold came on and did this big thing about how us people who didn't get vaccinated were all about our loss of freedoms, and he said, screw your freedoms.
He said, "Screw your freedom."
Yeah.
And then Brian Shaw was like, "My freedom?
Yeah.
Motherfucker, you said screw my freedom?"
Yeah.
And he was,
He
and
ripped his posters off the wall in
Yeah.
his gym. He had Arnold's posters, ripped them all off the wall.
he declined any kind of like involvement in the Arnold stuff after that because Brian Shaw is an American man. He's a patriot, and he doesn't fuck around with anybody saying screw your freedoms to him.
Yeah, he
So-
definitely has an American flag on his white porch.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
There's no doubt about that.
Brian Shaw's the man. There's no question about
Yep.
that. So, but anyway, so that's what those guys are up to now, and it's just like the Western guys are just continuing just to make noise and just go fucking hard in the paint on all these competitions that they're doing. Like CSM is next weekend, like the weekend after this.
Yeah.
No, sorry. Yeah, no,
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
it is. Yeah, it is.
He had Magnus, Saskatchewan's, Shaw, CSM. all back
bonkers.
to back.
Tristan and Jeffers both doing CSM.
Yeah.
Just 2 days of brutal competition. Like CSM last year was like eye opening to me, where it's like, wow, this is how hard competition can be. Like it's really
And
brutal.
it was 3 days last year.
3 days last year, and yeah, it's crazy. But the just go back to the Gimli show a little bit. Like that was
Well, was that the question you had? Did you have a question?
No, we were just
all
talking.
we're just chatting. Chill out.
Podcast,
You
not
said-
an interview.
You said you had a question you wanted to start with. It was,
No, it's more of just a talking point.
Oh,
you know?
okay.
It's not that big.
We'll get to it.
yeah. whatever.
But the Gimli thing was the Gimli competition was, again, this year went off without a hitch. It was awesome. The weather was beautiful. Just like Gimli's such a nice place. You know what I mean?
great.
Like it's just like you're right by the water, and the Viking statue, like that little cul-de-sac where they do it. It's like custom made to do strongman
Yeah.
there. It's so nice, and everybody there is like there's a built-in audience of all the people who are there to watch or to be there for the White Icelandic Festival that come and watch it. There was probably like my dad kind of did a head count of like somewhere between like there was always at least 800, and he said it went as high as probably like to 1,200, 1,300
Yep.
sometimes.
I did
people
a count
watching.
at one point and it was over 1,000.
Yeah,
You
so
can't count that high.
I did groups of 10.
that's see, I'm so fucking bad at that, trying to get like estimates.
So
of people.
what I did is
Like,
I counted a cluster of 10, and I put my hand out in front of me, and I'm like, this is how many first
Oh,
times. I
that's
just
actually
went
not
around
bad.
the crowd.
Yeah.
You did do that
Yeah,
for sure.
I did.
That's
Yeah.
not a bad method. But yeah, so
Because
that
I can
was
count to 3. I can't do 3 because my arms, but
that was an awesome competition, and like the American dudes were cool.
they were, yeah.
The shoot, what's his name? The really fucking huge guy, Connor.
Connor Gordon.
Fortunately, didn't really have the showing he wanted. He got a cramp, I think, maybe a really serious, a pretty
Something
bad
went wrong
cramp.
with his back.
His back seized up in the second event, and he was doing really well up to that point.
Yeah, he would have
And
been
he
mid to high pack.
For sure.
Yeah.
And he just couldn't get to loosen up. Couldn't get, like, he missed an event, then he had to miss a second event, and I think he was just
And
like,
he missed
well,
a third event.
yeah. Well, yeah, I think at that point he was just like, fuck whatever. But he man, this guy
The guy's
fucking,
massive.
he
He posted. Did you see his
I,
picture?
that's
he posted
exactly what I was
today?
about to pull up. So he posted like he's about my height, I would say, right? Maybe even an inch taller than me.
Yeah, maybe I'm sorry. Yeah.
So he is a big dude. I can't type and talk at the same time. And he's easily what, 350?
I
like,
think because I got his bio. I think he's upwards of 350, 370.
here's a video of him there.
This is him lifting.
And his Instagram is at _untamable_ass.
Okay, that's him now.
So I urge you guys to look at this too, because this is bonkers.
And then you go to what he
Jeez.
was a
Oh,
couple years ago.
He just posted.
whoa!
He posted pictures of himself before he was a 350 fucking monster strongman. He looks like the Hulk now, and he looks like a Marvel fan.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
you
he
know
looks
what I
like
mean?
he looks like a folk singer.
That last one looks
Yeah.
like he hangs out with Brett James.
yeah.
Oh, for sure.
he looks
Yeah.
No, look, Brett.
he looks like a soy
did you
jack.
close
Like
it?
he looks like the.
Yeah.
Wait, the beard one or that one?
The beard
Oh,
one,
that
yeah.
one. Oh, sorry, this one, Brett.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you would look at that and you're like, how did he get from that to this?
Yeah.
And it was that last picture. I think was 2014.
Yeah.
So
Probably creatine.
He has
it's-
lots.
he's obviously got better creatine than.
And that's to what I was saying before.
Organic.
I was talking about this girl that's
Yeah.
that's like up in her gym game, whatever. And this guy, like, man, if one day you just decide like I don't want to be a fucking pussy anymore,
Yeah.
like you can just do it. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing that stops you from being fucking awesome. Like this guy's fucking gigantic right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just like he just decided one day he's like, I don't want to look like Scarecrow Man anymore. I want to be gigantic.
Well, Pat came back after the meet and greet. He came to the Airbnb. He's like, I've never met a man that big.
He was gigantic, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he's one of those guys where it's oftentimes when you see someone posting on Instagram, bodybuilders and powerlifters mostly, you see them in person, it's like, oh, you're short because that's why you're good at this. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Because
Yeah.
you're a short guy.
Yeah.
But this guy was like, holy shit, he was just like in person, he was just as big as he thought he was going to be, and he's fucking. And same with John too.
John Wims.
Yes.
Yeah, from Florida.
Yeah. The big. He's
He was
not
a
Samoan, but I was like,
He-
I
he
can't
was a-
believe you're not Samoan.
He
'cause
was a
looks like
football
he is.
player, arena
He
football.
played for he played
really?
an arena football. I didn't even get which team from him. I meant to ask him, but just the friendliest guy, super cool.
He stayed out and partied with a bunch of them and hung
Yeah.
out with the guys. And
Well,
afterwards, a couple
they
days.
just stayed in Gimli the whole long
Yeah.
weekend.
Yeah.
So they just made it, which is like that's the best way to do it. That's what we so often we do these trips where it's just like you're in and you're out just to do the competition and stuff. It's like you're there. Why wouldn't you enjoy the festival and
Yeah, exactly.
whatever? So they did that, and his girlfriend like competes too and stuff. They got like
Okay.
they got that World Strength Games coming up or something.
Speaking of girlfriend competing, you see the size of David Nolet's girlfriend?
Sure traps.
Cheapest man.
She'll be competing.
She's competed strongest woman in Canada.
at strongest woman in Canada in
And
Winnipeg.
she is.
She's yacked.
She's man. I was like, what the hell? She's
Yeah.
yoked.
She made Dave look small.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
was like,
Yep.
or Dave Nolette. Sorry, not this Dave. She made you look small too, but
Yeah.
she was fucking jacked.
But
yeah.
I give props to that guy. I went and talked to David after the show, or Dave, and the camaraderie he does and the promotion of the sport he does at comps. Like he pulls out a chair in the fourth event by the farmers and sits down. And he starts yelling at Tristan. He's like, "If you don't make it to this far," he's like, "because that was the win. This is where Jeffers made it. If you don't make it here, you're doing 20 push-ups there. If you do make it, I'll do 30 push-ups right here." Yeah. And the whole crowd's cheering. He did that for 2 or 3 events to get the crowd into it.
Yeah.
That's cool.
He's
That's
a sportsman.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I remember when I went to Quebec last year, he was there volunteering at CSM, and I was like, "That he's big guy. Obviously, I'm like, he must compete." So I asked who he was, and the first thing that anybody said about him was that, "Oh, he's like the fucking nicest guy. Like he's like this consummate showman too,
And he
like,
looks
he's
intimidating.
He's super friendly, and he's like he really understands like the entertainment aspect of strongman too. Where it's like I think that even though guys finished ahead of him in the standings, I think that more people would remember him than most of the guys. I think that that's a face that would, because first of all, he's got the French accent, so that sort of makes him distinctive, whatever. But he's funny, and he's singing, and he's dancing, he's doing all this kind of crazy shit, whatever. And he's like,
Hey, he sang the national anthem
in French.
in French.
Yeah.
In front of the Viking statue.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
He just started doing it, and I was like, okay. And then it just went.
I thought he
all
was
the way to the end.
I thought he was gonna stop. Like, no, we're running this thing. Yeah.
He went all the way to the finish.
Yeah.
But no, Gimli was sick, and it was. I mean, I don't know how it was from the promoter's perspective of things, but from an athlete's perspective, it was just like really, really fun. And
So
really,
you guys were happy?
yeah, man, it was easy.
'Cause I
It
haven't
was
talked to
fun.
any
It was-
besides you a little bit and Pat, but I always like to get feedback on because it's a Magnus Classic, but I ran most of it. Like he did the refereeing, but I got organized it all. Me and Brad.
It's really
I
the
shouldn't say
Devin
me.
Penner Classic.
Yeah,
more
it's the
than
Devin Penner
anything else.
Classic.
Yeah.
No, it's Brad did most of the behind the scenes work. But,
Yeah, shout out to Brad Hurst for
Dude,
making.
he did an
doing what he
unreal
did.
job,
Yeah.
But I always want to know how it ran, like because I got a couple comments. So people met me this week. One lady at physio, she's like, "I missed the show." I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, "It said it went from 1 till 5. 1 to 5. We were done in 2.5 hours." She's like, "I got there at 3 or 3:30, and you guys were cleaned up and gone."
We did, what was it, 6 events?
Yeah, 6 events in
In like less than 3 hours.
That's
It was-
incredibly
it was bonkers.
fast.
Yeah, it was bonkers.
Yeah, and we were taking breaks. I brought so I brought 2 extra sandbags with,
Yeah.
put them up to 5 and 10 pounds, and I brought kids in from the crowd into the events to throw over the bar.
It was one of those shows where we needed like
But we needed that.
Filler.
so often you're like trying to be like, how can we cut time from this competition?
Yeah.
And it was just the opposite there, where it's like we could have done this in an
Well,
hour.
we also
if
had 3
wanted
guys
to.
not
Yeah.
show up.
Right. Yeah. We were
So
short
we had
some
8
guys.
guys,
Yeah.
9 guys.
Speaking of that, John guy's going to do the Fort Mac one too.
John, like from the
Yeah.
Florida.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
He's getting out and about. He's getting all around doing that kind of shit, which is cool.
Yeah, he was super nice.
Yeah. So the Gimli it finished with Tristan in first. Tristan, Jeffers, me.
Yeah.
And Tristan the next day. Did we talk about this already? No. The next day.
We
he
mentioned
went-
that he was gonna.
He was
do it.
going to. He went because Tristan's a police officer in Edmonton. He went to the police and fire games and did a push pull event there.
And he won that, didn't he?
Man, yeah, he it wasn't even close. But I woke up that morning and like I kind of like rolled over to get out of bed, and like the first thing that popped into my head was like, I can't believe that Tristan has to lift today. Like I couldn't even fathom the idea. I was so fucking beat up. And I went down there and watched him. And also, I will say, shout out to the Manitoba powerlifting scene for not supporting anything that goes on in like their sphere or their world that's not like directly MPA.
Yeah.
You guys are some motherfuckers. I'll tell you that right now, because when there was like there was a thing for CPU where they changed it. There was some blowback, whatever, about admission fees and stuff.
Yeah.
And all the MPA people were in the comments like, well, if you support, you got to support and blah, 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 support. And I was like, motherfucker, we're driving to Brandon to watch this Westerns. Like, if that's not support, like putting in 2.5 hours each way
Yeah.
to drive to something that I do not care about, to watch someone that I know lift. And yeah, of course, there'll be a little bit of money you pay at the thing, whatever. That's not a big deal. But it was like $20 per day to go watch or something stupid like that. And people just didn't appreciate that. And then so MPA lifters, instead of being like, hey, like, why don't we all like maybe hear this and adjust and think, they're like, you guys don't care about powerlifting and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, hey, guess what? Nobody cares about powerlifting except for you guys. We're just trying to support something that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, at the police and fire games, except for the people who were there, like say Thrones, who was and Amanda Berg and stuff, who were there like actually involved in reffing and stuff.
Yeah.
I looked around. There's nobody from the fucking Manitoba powerlifting scene in the crowd. So
Yeah.
fuck you guys for saying that you support shit because you don't. So anyway, he went there and smashed it. He's fucking smashed. He benched like 480.
And pulled over 7. Did he pull 705?
705. He got on his second attempt and just didn't take his third. And yeah, it was awesome. It was awesome to see that. And so there was a lady who was sitting next to me in the bleachers, and he pulled 705, and she was just like, oh my god, like she was funny because she was like, I met one of the athletes at Sport Check, and me and my sons just came down to check it out because he invited us to come watch. Like some athlete from BC was like, yeah, go check it out. So she was like asking me questions about the scoring, and I was like, I don't know, I don't really know how powerlifting works that much, to be honest with you, but she was blown away by the 700-pound deadlift because Tristan looks awesome while he's doing it too, and he's huge.
Yeah.
And so I leaned to her and I was like, he actually did that 12 times yesterday. Because it was a 705 deadlift at Magnus, and he did it 12 times yesterday. So one time today probably felt pretty easy, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But he smashed it, and so congrats to Tristan on a huge fucking weekend. Just like running roughshod on the Manitoba powerlifting and strongman scene. Yeah, man, he's killing it. And also shout out to Chris Blakely, who's been going to my gym lately, and he hit a 452 bench.
Nice.
He did the bench only because I believe that he's a CO, which is also included in that thing.
Okay.
I think.
It is,
yeah. So he hit that, and it was awesome because he showed me the picture. It was him against a Chinese guy who was not Chris Blakely's size.
Yeah.
So I think that he had a much smaller bench press. I want to say that Blakely said maybe 70 kilograms.
Jeez.
So whatever, different worlds, right? They're occupying different spaces. But they're in the same weight class, or they're in the same division because it's like divided. It's divided by age or some shit.
Okay.
So,
and the little guy thought he was going to win.
Yeah, I guess a lot of these guys who are doing these events are doing more than one sport at the same time, like in the same stay here.
Oh yeah.
So some of them might do powerlifting, and some of them are also doing like fucking dragon boat racing or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
So this Chinese guy, he did his bench. He did one bench, scratched the other two. He's like, I gotta fucking go. So he leaves, and so his son takes his medal for it, like it's like stands in for him at the medal ceremony.
Yeah.
So the picture is Chris Blakely, first place, 6'4", 320 pounds, fucking gigantic, and then second place, this small Chinese boy who looks like he's never lifted a weight in his life, and then third place, no one. So
Hilarious.
It was an amazing picture, and Blakely was like, I really wish that guy had not come up and accepted that award for his dad. I wish he really would just let me have just the one picture on the thing, but yeah, it was awesome. So shout out to all the people who. I mentioned him earlier, but to Thrones, who continues his streak of volunteering or being a part of in some capacity every fucking strength sport thing that goes on.
It happens.
And I think that and this is probably because he just didn't even know about it, but like I think the Highland Games thing this season is the only thing that I've been to that wasn't out of Manitoba that he's not been either competing at or volunteering at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a few guys that are like that, but he's even at the World Police and Fire Games, he spent like 3 or 4 days there full.
He's gonna hear this and apologize to you. Sorry, I missed it.
Or he'll be at the next Highland show.
He'll be there. Yeah, he'll be at the next one, I'm sure. So
he'll be all
he like was there for like full 8-hour days. I'm pretty sure like they're long ass days, just volunteering, just doing the shit like that he always does at those meets and stuff. So shout out to him for making those things happen because I think that. Like we're lucky to have a couple people like that in strongman too, but I think the powerlifting community kind of has a dearth of guys like that who are really give a fuck. You know what I mean? And aren't just playing make believe.
So to go back on the Magnus, I want to touch on because our favorite Oompa Loompa of the show placed 5th at the Magnus.
Patty.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Like he came in with a week and a half. I gave him a week and a half notice in the show. He accepted it. Was not training for it. Came in and somehow pulled 5th place.
Yeah, he did a great
which
job.
Which was unreal.
Yeah.
Got second place in the arm over arm.
He's on a bit of a streak right now.
Yeah.
Both Pat and Dan, the other two Manitoba guys who rounded out the thing, like Dan got 7 of 8, I think, but like because it was actually the same events as last year.
8 of 9 or 7 of 8, whatever it was.
Yeah. The events this year were pretty much the same as last year.
Yeah.
Which was kind of cool because we like every event he improved on.
Yeah, he PR'd and on every event from last year.
Yeah.
So I know I was talking to him after, just kind of, you could tell he's low down. He came down to my Airbnb after that, and we hung out a bit. And you could tell he was a little discouraged, but he's like, I really can't be mad because I put on a significant amount since last year because it was identical events.
Yep. Hit a log because he missed the 300 log last year. He hit this one for two reps, I think.
Yep.
He the deadlift he zeroed last year. He got 2 or 3 this year.
Yep.
Farmers zeroed last year. He got 15 feet or something this year. Like everything was, even the stones, he did well in those last year. He hit the same amount of stones, but these were higher platforms than last year.
Way higher.
So everything was a big improvement.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny? I don't know if you know about this, and you wouldn't know, but so a bunch of our Iron Age people we're kind of sitting in the crowd, like by the steps there, like where you were doing the arm over arm.
Yep.
And I think maybe it was Candace who told me that there was somebody in the crowd who was like, when Pat and Dan went and did their log and they got like 2, they were like 2. Like they were talking shit in the crowd.
Wow.
And I think that one of them said they turned around and were like, "Would you like to give it a crack? Like would you like to try that, whatever?" But I really it's you don't really think about that, but I do love that person who's in the crowd. I feel like you used to see them a lot more. They're more like the older bodybuilding kind of guys.
Yeah.
And they take their shirt off.
Yeah.
And they stand sort of in the background, but still pretty visible, and they have their arms crossed.
That's classic strongman crowd.
Yeah. And he's not saying it, but he's definitely exuding this energy of, I could do that.
Yeah.
This is something that I could do if I gave it a little bit of an effort, but I don't want to because they're all fat.
Yeah.
But I just thought it was amazing because I asked them, like, who were these guys? And they were like, oh, they were just like regular ass dudes, like not even athletic or lifters themselves.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, the fucking balls that it would take to just stand there and be like 310 was what the number was, I think.
Yeah.
310 twice overhead. That's such a bitch ass thing to do. Like
Yeah.
it's just like it's just incredible. I can't believe what it would
There's
take.
this many guys maybe in Manitoba who can lift that for
Right?
one.
Yeah. Like I thought that was so amazing, and I almost kind of like it. I like I think that it's funny that there's guys who are just like that big of haters in the crowd, where it's just like you need those guys. Those
It's
guys.
like armchair quarterbacks.
Yeah, exactly.
Screaming
Yeah,
at their TV at Tom Brady.
Yep.
You always meet dinks.
Yeah.
Speaking of meeting dinks, I got a funny story for you guys.
Sure.
That happened to me about 3 hours ago. I almost got in a fight with a guy with a hatchet a couple hours ago. So I'm driving, trying to get. Well, I'm actually kind of went here. I took work today. I told the guys, I'm like, let's just shut it out. I took all my guys mini golfing. Went to the golf dome.
Would you guys go golf dome?
Yeah.
I just went there with Jen recently too.
All the guys but 2. So 2 are ticked off.
Is that
me.
since my mini golf recommendation?
No, I went right before. That's why we were talking.
Well, these are
about
all
it.
dudes, but yeah.
Uh,
So
wouldn't
anyways,
stop you.
yeah,
I met those guys.
I went to Brewers Direct, picked up some cider mixes, and bought a kegerator, so I want to get some kegs going. And I'm cutting across. It's not Sargent's next one, so I have to cut across all 4 lanes. I'm watching the bus come across slowly. Cars come in, so I have enough time to get through. But there are some pedestrians crossing that I couldn't see behind the bus. So when I shoot across, there's 2 dudes right there, and I'm like, son of a bitch! I had it, but locked my brakes. They moved out of the way. I missed him, obviously, but the guy's giving me the finger, and he's just swearing at me as I'm driving past him. And I look back in the mirror, and he's still giving me the finger, and he's coming at me. I'm like, I'll just pull over. So I pulled over, and I was going to get out and apologize to him. Like, hey, man, I clearly almost hit you. This is my fault.
Yeah.
So I get out of my truck, and the guy's losing his mind. I'm like, yeah, like I'll go apologize to him. Not a big deal. And I got caught my logos over my truck. So I get out of my truck. I just get out my door, and he's just swearing at me from a distance. And he's like, I'm having a bad fucking day. Don't fuck with me today, this and that. And he's like, it's not the fucking day to do this. He's coming at me, and I walk around my truck because he can't see me at this point. He's just swearing at me. And I walk in my truck, so then he sees me as I'm coming across, and he just dead stops and turns around. And keeps talking. He's like, I'll fucking beat you with a hatchet. And I'm like, well, I guess now we're fighting. Because now I'm not apologizing.
Yeah.
So I go after him, and he just keeps walking away, swearing at me. And I'm like, all right, man, just keep fucking walking, I guess. And he rounds the corner and takes off. But he was coming at me. He was pulling shit out of his bag. So I'm guessing he did have a hatchet. Until he's seen me, and also he's like, oh, and he just hightails it the other way. It's just a little dude, eh?
I had a good video that.
But I was literally going over to apologize.
Yeah.
I had a good video that got some traction when I posted it to Twitter a few years ago because I used to live in West Broadway.
Yeah.
And I was just walking to I think to just like a coffee shop or something around the corner, and it was very early in the morning on like a Saturday, or some people would call it very late Friday night, with like which these guys would call it. And it was just a guy who was holding a muffler. 2 guys who look exactly how you're imagining them, looking very rough characters.
Was that your video?
Yeah, one was holding a muffler and the other guy was holding a hatchet.
Yeah, I've
And they
seen
were
that
just,
video.
Like, swinging them at each other in the middle of like right outside the Sherbrooke Hotel.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, like just to think about like where these guys started
remember that.
to end in this position. Here.
I've seen that
Yeah.
video, but I didn't know it was yours.
That's my video. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got hit up by a bunch of people being like Global asked me, it's like, can we have this video? And I was like, no, you can't. And I never gave it to anybody. And then when like Winnipeg Wilden, everyone's like, you gotta send it to Winnipeg Wilden. You gotta send it to Winnipeg Wilden. And I was like, why? I don't give a fuck about Winnipeg. Like,
Yeah.
Winnipeg Wilden is fucked because they monetize. They make money off of people sending them content. So that guy
Yeah.
just sits there and just takes in videos and puts it on his stupid little fucking Instagram page and makes money off of it. So
Yeah.
you're a sucker if you're sending your stuff to Winnipeg Wilden. I'm not monetizing my shit and just giving it for the people to see for free on Twitter.
People's champ.
That's right.
People's
Thank you.
Champ, yeah. The Rock ain't got shit on him.
Yeah. So that was an all time classic. But I'm also not giving it to any newspaper sites because I don't know what the fuck they're gonna do with it.
Yeah.
I don't feel like making them any money either.
We can't see the news anyways.
Yeah, exactly.
What does
Yeah,
it matter?
that's true. Yep.
Yeah.
I had a moment like you a couple years ago when I lived just off of River. And there's one crosswalk there that's so hidden and no one ever stops for it. And I was driving one day and this guy kind of made a last second turn like he's going to cross. I was like, too late for me to stop there. And I kind of waved as I went by, like, sorry, man. Like, I know I'm in the wrong. And he's in the middle of the road. He's giving me the finger. You could tell he's yelling. And I turn around with the intent of, like, you're not going to act this way. Like,
Oh, so not to apologize like I was.
so halfway back, I kind of cooled my jets. And I'm like, I'm just going to tell the guy, like, I know I was wrong and I'm apologizing.
Yeah.
And I pull up and he's yelling. I put the window down and I was like, hey. And he kind of pauses. I'm like, I was wrong. I tried to wave and let you know I was sorry. He goes, oh, yeah, me too. Sorry, man. And then we both just went on our way.
Yeah.
There's nothing that'll diffuse a situation more than like
Someone apologizing.
just breaking that barrier down of the window.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? When you're in your car, and if you just like lean out the window, you're like, "Hey, sorry, dude." Like the first, I guarantee you, like 9 times out of 10, the guy will be like, "Yeah, man, sorry, me too." Like it's just
that
like
was my plan to, but the guy didn't give me a chance. Once he's like, I'm gonna fucking hit you with a hatchet.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we're done talking civilly.
I can only imagine what's in your truck as well.
Yeah.
Whether it's personal or work materials.
yeah. When you get that moment where you're like, the window's up and you have that fucking barrier between you, you're just like, people who are like normally like sane, rational human beings will be like, I gotta fucking fight now. Like it's just like they nowhere else in their life where they do that.
Yeah.
Besides in their vehicle. And it's such a weird like this is my fucking shield and whatever, right? But like,
And you break that barrier.
and then it's just like if you just like you real like when you say something out the window that's not like fucking like fuck you or whatever, you're like, oh yeah, it's just another guy in that car. You know what I mean? Or just a guy walk. You know what I mean? Like it's just like I was talking to Jan about this and she couldn't really wrap her head around it where like I think this is probably all three of us, but like you pretty much imagine like yourself like in a scenario where you have to fight pretty much every guy that you see, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
Everywhere I go.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah. Okay. Like Jan like couldn't wrap her head around that, and I kind of told it to a couple other like women at my gym.
I'm guessing Jan can't wrap a lot of things around with you.
No, and she was like, or like they're like, what are you talking about that you think about like? I'm like, it's exhausting because I have to imagine myself. How would I fight this person? Like every time that I see somebody,
Yeah.
And then every time that and we were walking down on Corridon, and I was like, right, and like just as it was happening, me and this guy made eye contact as he was driving by, and I was like, right there, I was thinking about what if that guy says something to me and I have to fight him. Like that was like that. And all we did was just make eye contact. You know what I mean? Like you have this fucking like.
I can never do that.
That's where like your lizard brain just kicks in, and you're just like.
Yeah.
I have to defend. Like I might have to kill someone here to defend myself, even though there's no fucking problem.
No threat. Nothing
at all.
No.
And I, it's like it's an exhausting feeling to have to constantly be just like on edge. And women will never understand it. They'll never know because they live in this fantasy world where no one wants to fight.
But nothing diffuses a situation or brings it down than someone saying sorry.
Yeah, for sure.
So I had years back, some guys were ripping shit in front of my house, and there were twins that had this 240SX car, and they fly by about 80, 90 Ks with kids playing in the street. We're in town, and kids had a scatter. These kids were 16-year-old punks. And so we jump in our vehicle. We had 4 cars in the driveway. We ended up taking a Suzuki Swift to chase them instead of the supercharged Cooper and a bunch of other cars we had in the driveway. I ended up catching up to these guys.
Great.
Yeah, I ended up catching up to these guys at a stop sign and jumped out, went after the driver. And my other buddy went on the passenger side, 'cause there were 2 of them.
What's better than one car speeding around kids?
Yeah.
a car chasing that car.
Yeah. So I cut him off anyways. And I jump out. I go into his window, and I'm trying to grab him to start to beat the shit out of him. And all he's doing is apologizing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so I couldn't get him to get out and fight. So now I'm calling out his pastor, making fun of him. He wouldn't get out and fight. I'm like, well, I guess this is useless. I'm like, don't ever speed again.
That's the end of it.
I get back in my car. Those kids never sped again. That was the end of it. Those kids were good after that. They're just like, I'm really sorry we screwed up. And I was like, this sucks. Because you really expect them to say something dumb so you can just drill them in the head. Yeah. No. Kids just like, I'm sorry, I won't do that again. For shit's sakes, man.
It's just not mouthy enough.
Yeah, say something stupid. Nope.
Yeah, you should have pinched him and maybe you would have said something.
Go in there and give him a nerve.
Back of his arm.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't have to do it, actually. Because I understood.
It's actually a fat test.
So this.
So what am I?
Pretty fat.
12%?
Oh yeah, you're
In
still
the 12% in the triceps, yes.
When you're Devin's on a diet right now.
A diet of fun.
Devin's gay. So what are you doing? Like what is your diet right now?
So I'm doing it with the wife.
What are you doing just aside from resting the microphone belt on your gut? Your diet is not working, Devin. Go on.
Yeah. What am I doing? So I've been doing 3.5 weeks now. No carbs, no sugar, no caffeine,
Have you been 100%?
No pork, no diet. Yeah, I haven't cheated.
Why no pork? Why everything? Why is why
So
are you doing this?
it's not for me. So my wife, during the whole COVID shit, she broke out, had some hormonal acne stuff happening, and it was stemming from a gut issue. So we hired a naturopath coach to clear up hormone issues and stuff. And this is the last protocol she has to do to get rid of any bad gut microbiome, whatever it is. I don't know. She has a coach that shit. But this is hard because it's no caffeine, no sugar, no carbs, no pork, no dairy, no fun. Really, it's actually it's a fun sucker.
What's the?
I don't know why there's no pork. She knows why. I don't ask the questions. Okay. So she had asked me, "Can you please do it with me?" Because it's hard for her to do it when I'm plowing everything, but her. Right.
I don't know where that was going,
yeah.
but okay.
So I said, "Yeah, I'll do the diet with you. I wanted to lose weight anyways, not being competitive more. I'm like, I would like to get a little healthier." So we started 3 weeks ago. She's lost like 8 pounds, which I don't know where she's losing it. I'm down 13 pounds. So I haven't cheated.
I don't know where you're losing it either.
Yeah. I'll tell you where it's. Yeah. It's my belly, guys. Come on.
Sorry, you said you're down 13 pounds?
Yeah.
From what to what?
254.5. I was 241.5 this morning.
So what's the
goal?
Yeah.
I want to get to 230. I told Gord I'll take 4 years and come compete with him in the Masters.
There you go.
Masters lightweight at 220.
So like, what's the progression here? So you cut out all this shit, and then
yeah. So next week,
slowly add it back.
Yeah. Next week Wednesday is our 15-year wedding anniversary.
Wow.
And we get an apple.
Wow.
1 apple a day. She gets half an apple, but I said since I'm double her size, I get a full apple.
Wow.
It's not
fair.
my coach. Yeah, it's fair, right? Science.
Yeah.
And I'm all about following the science.
Listen, if you want a whole apple, you get a whole apple.
Yeah. and then week 5, I get well, she gets half cup berries. I get a full cup of berries a day. So I get an apple and berries.
Per day?
Yeah, per day, guys.
Holy smokes.
So I'm going to
You're gonna
stack
be
that
bouncing
right
off the
around my
walls.
workout so I can get what they used to call a pump.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then week 7, I think.
It's been a long time.
Yeah,
since,
I don't know what we
old
get.
Devin got a pump.
Yeah, I don't know what we get, but I'm having a party, so I'm gonna I'm breaking the diet that day to have some drinks.
When I drove here,
Speaking of that,
I had
talked about
this Coke. I had 2 quarter pounders and a large fries on the way here.
Well, I'm known for eating like 4 to 6 to 8 donuts at a time. So worker comes in this morning, so I helped him with some stuff, and brings me a dozen donuts. And he's like, "Oh, Devin, thanks for the help." And I'm like, "Can't eat those. Bring those to the front and give them to somebody else. Get them out of my office, man." Like, so I haven't cheated. No, I have nothing.
I had 6 donuts last night.
Yeah,
too.
Pat told me I couldn't do it too, so fuck him. That's why I'm doing it.
That's what it takes to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, as soon as someone tells me you can't do it, well, no, I'm stuck doing this shit, I guess.
You have to do it.
Especially someone you're close with.
And he calls me fat every day.
You are fat compared to Pat.
Yeah, I'm gonna fight him yet.
Pat's even Pat at like his
It's
like
gonna
strongman thing is like he looks fucking sick.
Yeah.
Like it helps that he's fucking
3 feet tall.
But I mean
Yeah.
he's extremely jacked.
I'm gonna fight him one day.
He looked awesome. He looked awesome at the Gimli photos and stuff.
Oh,
He
yeah.
was just like fucking huge. His
Well,
arms
short
looked
arms and
gigantic.
just big muscle
Yeah,
bellies.
Yeah,
And,
he looked really gigantic.
Still vascular.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he's he's looking good.
So then, okay, so you're doing this diet for now. Then, so what do you said you want to get down to 230?
Yeah.
And then what's the goal? Like, what do you like? You want to try to hang out there for a while, or you want to try to get more muscle, or you want?
No,
to try
I eventually said I wanted to chase after the Canadian log record for 230 one day. I might try that goal.
What is it?
I think it was 375 by Mays, if I'm correct.
Holy shit! You said Western Canadian.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, it's fucking it's way up there.
Yeah. Well, that's the Canadian.
Is it?
Yeah. Well, Mays has the highest log. From what I know, correct me if I'm wrong.
That,
yeah, but I think Mays has the highest log in
375.
Canada.
Holy
Yeah,
fuck, man.
370, 375.
That's what whenever I'm doing like some like high rep stuff on log, like the weight always kind of sucks, and then I see these guys like those guys in Regina, like Mays especially, he'll be doing like, oh, here's just like 330 for 5.
Oh, I'm gonna Viper press
clean
this.
every press or clean every rep, and it's just like, holy shit, dude, that guy's a fucking animal.
Yeah, and I don't know if he was peaked for that max log. I think that's probably something he just, but he just. If you're doing 330 for Viper pressing reps, clean and pressing a rep, like I swear if he went for a peak, he'd be higher than that.
Mm-hmm. Also, I forgot to. We were talking about people who were at the Shaw Mel Peacock's down there too.
Yeah, seen that. Yeah.
So
she's looking.
she's gonna
crazy,
crush it. She's the numbers she's putting up are retarded, and
Is Sam competing there too?
Sam's also competing. Yep, Sam and Max.
Max, which is good to see him back.
Canada's strongest couple. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's nice to see. But that's a little rough injury for him there, and coming back nice and strong. A little lighter.
Lost
Lost a little bit
just
of size.
as strong. Well, it takes time to come back.
I guess we'll see. Yeah, I don't know. I think that maybe he didn't perform as well as he wanted to at. Well, I don't know. I shouldn't say that because he did North America's Strongest Man, and realistically, that was like testing the water and seeing how you do in competition. So I'm sure just finishing the competition was probably a pretty good feeling. But I'm sure that now he's looking at getting back to his number 1 spot in Canada pretty quickly, I would think.
Yeah, but he's not doing CSM.
He is doing CSM.
He's CSM. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These guys are CSM is fucking stacked this year. I mean, it always is, but this
Well,
year
which
is
is JF competing? I heard he's coming back, right? Which comp is he coming back at?
Magnus.
It is the Iceland one.
Yeah, I believe
Okay,
so.
yeah.
Yeah. I think that's his plan. I guess they. You know what? I don't know if I agree with it, but I guess they just decided Magnus JF just doesn't have to qualify like everybody else does. So. I'm just kidding. I'm just joking. He's definitely. I heard the Iceland one, and that'll be awesome for him too because he's like a fucking tough old guy. You know what I mean? Like that'll be like those outdoor cold events and shit are gonna be like just right up his alley.
So thinking of Magnus, now this is the thing you'll happen. It'll happen to you one day when you start losing weight. The worst thing someone can say to a guy who used to be bigger is, "Oh man, you've gotten a lot smaller."
Gotten smaller.
Like even though you're trying to lose weight, you still don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
So we're at the Viking statue, and I seen it firsthand. For a guy, Magnus is there taking pictures, and a guy walks up. I want to take a picture with you, and he's like, "Yeah, man, I used to watch you when you were a lot bigger than you are now." And I could just see it on Magnus's face, like he just looked at me, and I'm like, "Oh, it still does hurt then."
Yeah.
Like even though you're 60
I'm sure
years
it never
old,
goes away.
yeah, and he knows he's past that. But just the look on his face, the guy obviously didn't mean it, but it's just like,
Yeah.
I just see a look on his face, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be a thing for the rest of the life. All right.
Magnus came by the gym after he was here.
Yeah.
After he was in the Whiskey Tango Studios, he came to Iron Age, and man, he was so cool. Because I felt like we started touching on stuff here that I was like, I don't know if it would be the most like exciting it's like programming stuff and questions like that
Yeah.
or whatever. So I was like, I'm gonna start really like hammering him with that stuff when we got to the gym, and he sat there for probably 30 minutes and just talked to me about that kind of shit. And I'm always really interested in like the history of training for strongman
Yeah.
and shit. That's why I hope that everyone who's listening to that thought it was interesting too. But like where he's talking about how he was like before you would ever train strongman to compete in strongman. I thought that was like a really interesting era where you'd be doing powerlifting lifts to get better at strongman because
Yeah.
you just didn't have any of the events at your gym. You wouldn't have a log and you wouldn't have stones. You wouldn't have.
And now
any
we
of
got
that
guys
shit.
already asking, is it 14 inches or 14 and a half for nationals? Because it fucking matters so much. People are mad because it's not it might be a half an inch difference what the page says.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, I need to know because it matters for my training if it's 14 or 15 inches. No, it doesn't.
It does not.
Yeah.
It does
Need to
not
change
matter.
their shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Frickin' change
Literally that. Yeah.
change their tampons, too.
Cut the heels out of your socks. And you'll be fine.
For the joke, I said it was a dude saying it. So
Yeah. It was we're
killed by the
we get
feminists.
to have the fun, me and Devin, of so we've recently kind of moved from I'm still competing, but we've recently moved from solely competitors to the promoting aspect of things too. And you get to deal with the fun of athletes who need information. They need it, whether or not it's pertinent, they need it. And now we get to deal with it on a national level, which is even more fun.
And luckily, those guys are sort of vetting that a bit.
Yeah,
helping
I
us.
think Sam and Max and Simone are helping us.
Yes.
I think they're kind of acting as a bit of a filter for some of the questions to us.
That's good.
'Cause
Which is very
sometimes-
nice.
Sometimes they're better at answers than we are.
Well, that's what I think is. I think that they understand that too. Is that they have the better human resources voice than we have, maybe. So
Yeah.
they can make it seem like it's your question is valid and I want to help you, but let me.
Registrations are coming in. We're at like 30, 36 to 38. I got a couple more.
We just had Alberta provincials last weekend.
Yeah.
Too. So we'll get an influx.
But I think
from
there's
there.
only 2 people from Manitoba signed up.
Really, that's no good.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, at least we know we can expect more.
Send in your damn money.
Yeah, we need money.
We
need money.
We're still building equipment.
Yeah, I mean, okay, let's get into that a little bit. So, we have all the equipment, at least in the process of being made.
Yes.
I think right. So we have now that we can finally talk about it. We have the wagon wheels that we had made.
Just got them done.
Yeah, we had those. Those turned out really really nice. Shout out to
Valley Powder Coating.
Yep.
Because of mine, he owns powder coating shop. Powder coated everything for free, and he says bring down whatever you have for nationals needs powder. He said it's on me.
Beauty.
So that was really nice. Because I didn't ask for a sponsor. I said, what's for us? I said nationals. So we're doing this. He's like, it's all on me.
Nice.
Shout out Devin's
Yeah.
cousin then.
Yeah.
And so we have that. We have the throwing apparatuses that we're having built, and
Yep.
everything's coming together
We need
quite
the
nicely.
Viking press built.
We're getting a Viking press built from scratch. So if anybody in Manitoba or anywhere
Wants
wants
to
a
buy it.
Viking press,
We're selling it after.
we're selling it right after. You can buy it off the fucking floor at the Minto Armory.
And I'll
if you
probably
want.
just make the coatings wheel attachment for it to go with it so it matches.
Yeah, you might as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll.
Because I have 3 of those and it'll match ours.
If anybody wants that, give us a dingle.
Yeah.
But we're at a point now where it's like the bills are starting to pile up a little bit, and we get I don't mind being transparent about this. Is that we work with the money that's given to us through registration,
Sponsorship and registration.
sponsorship and registration. So we luckily got some good sponsors on board right away who they've helped us kind of pad the cost that we had to do going into this.
Yeah.
And now we're getting luckily some of the registrations start to come in, and we're starting to see a little bit of like a breathing room in terms of our budget.
Yeah.
Because boy oh boy is it it's a high budget for the show, and it's
Oh yeah, we still need. Oh, so if we still need another 25 grand yet
yeah. So there you go.
to come in before.
So it's gonna be
Actually, if you include the food and the meal, we're upwards of 30.
yeah. So anyway, it's
We're
it's
not
a big,
there.
it's a big
Pocket
expensive
change.
show, and
Yeah.
we're very happy to be taking it on, and happy to have the opportunity to make it happen in Winnipeg. And
Well, we just bought all our live stream stuff,
that's what I was gonna say next
Oh,
is
sorry,
that
yeah.
no.
which this is the camera.
We're using the camera right now that we
Testing it
purchased
out.
for our streaming stuff for Manitoba Strongman shit. So hopefully it's absolutely crystal clear, perfect, because fuck was an expensive camera. So we have all the stuff that we need now to be able to stream all of our events, which is really exciting. And like Thrones is kind of familiar with the software to use, so he's been sitting and just like hammering it at home, like figuring out how to make the sponsor scroll and how to make all this shit happen, which was like it took him a long time. So if it took him a long time, it would have taken you and me a fucking lifetime. So that's
Might be ready for nationals then.
very thankful for him. Yeah, very thankful for him taking over that. And
Well, the nice thing with that is too, we're going to use that. If there's other places that want live streams running, they
Yeah.
can hire us for it.
absolutely, if anybody needs a very affordable live streaming service
Yep, that was fine with it. Yep.
for your chess tournament or for your
D&D.
your D&D, your Magic card auction, whatever it might be that you
Home videos.
yeah, absolutely. If you have
We got a
something-
shotgun mic, so it'll get all the sounds from a distance.
all the weird
OnlyFans.
sounds.
yeah,
what-
yeah. If you have only feet,
absolutely. Whatever you need, Strong Manitoba is there to help you, and we're gonna record it, and we're gonna have it, and we're gonna keep it for
Tyler
ourselves.
will even hold your hair.
I'll do whatever I need to do. Yeah, so that's so. I really hope that like, and I don't want to keep like saying it over and over again because it kind of makes it seem like less genuine. But like, we really do. We want it to be a visible thing that like the money that we're getting, that's like our surplus, say from the Manitoba strongman scene, from all the wonderful athletes and sponsors and all that stuff. We're putting it right back into the sport. Like me and Devin haven't paid ourselves at all, and I don't think we will be able to at the
I
end
have
of
not
this.
even paid myself for fuel.
Yeah, so I don't think that we'll be able to take any money out of this by the time it's all said and done. But we wanted to make sure that there's that the athletes get something out of this too, so that way you can watch this at your competition at home.
Yeah.
With a professional camera and everything look good, and you
Well,
can
even Gimli, right? Gimli ended up not doing a live stream,
right.
and I took that money and put it to prize money so the competitors had something.
Yeah,
So
we-
I didn't cover my fuel, my meals, or my hotel for the whole weekend.
Yeah, we
It
got a
cost
little.
me $1,500.
We got a nice little prize from which wasn't supposed to be the case. I don't think was from.
No, it was. There's supposed to
from
be no
the
prize
Maiden
money.
show,
So I took what they were going to give me for lodging and I said, no, let's just give it to the competitors.
Nice.
I'll leave it this time around, get the show going. So, and then when you got guys, sometimes you can get a bit sorry, oh, fuck, I could really use the money to pay for Airbnb and pay for everything else. But then you get the guys coming out like John from the States and Connor's guys, and you get that prize money out to Tristan's guys, and they really appreciate it. Oh, man, like, we really need this.
Yeah,
Then it's, to me, it's worth it.
Yeah, I definitely appreciated it.
Yeah.
I need money, so that was good.
That's why I did it. I knew he was strong.
Yeah. That was Devin's way of like gifting me some money doing that. Putting it as a prize money for third place.
Yeah. The second participation award.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, third place has been a very comfortable position for me in the last.
Looks good on you.
Thanks. Yeah. No, it's good.
The best
it's low pressure. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, I'm doing good enough that I can be on the podium and I can smile and wave and be a part of the thing. And usually I'll get tagged in someone's breakdown of it because they'll say, "Oh, congratulations to the 3 podium guys." So I get a little bit of attention, which I like.
The best was Jeffers after posting, Colton, is this how it feels second place? and I laughed so hard, but then the next weekend he gets second at Saskatchewan, and I didn't see a post. I'm like, oh, it's probably hurting now.
I didn't find it as funny the second time
he
around.
didn't find it because he'd feel stab out of Colton. Is this how it feels to a second place trophy? And then he loses Saskatchewan, and there was no post about that. I'm like, oh, maybe it's stinging a little bit.
Yeah.
So don't
That's
hate me,
great.
Jeffers.
At the Farm Strong, it was Jeffers, Tristan, me, and then at Magnus, it was Tristan, Jeffers, me.
Yeah.
So now I need an event, probably involving a significant amount of sabotage, to be able for it to be Tyler, somebody.
Yeah.
Well, this weekend.
This week, yeah, exactly. Yeah, fuck you guys. You guys won't be there. I'll be there. Hopefully winning Manitoba's Strongest Man.
I secretly let them in.
Yeah.
You know what? I won't lie though, because there's certain events about this one that are like, you know, we made the competition same as last year. We wanted to make it accessible to people so that it's not like, like there's a we'll say that there's a significant difference between say like the bottom 5 guys and the top 4 or 5 guys.
Yeah.
We want to make sure that it's not so like we set all these weights where it's like, okay, 10 guys got 0, 11 guys got 0, 12, you know what I mean? So we try to set it so that the weights they get higher as you go in the comp. Like the yoke, we're doing an ascending yoke, and we're doing a press medley, so you can focus on one thing. If you can hit none of the implements, you can like, well, if I focus on one, I can probably get it in the next 8 weeks or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with that being said, like some of the events are like, not all of them, but some of them are quite a bit lighter than what I would do in competition usually, which makes it more of like a speed thing than necessarily like if I'm strong. And Dan's fast and Pat's fast,
Which also keeps you on your heels then.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Dan's really quick.
Yeah.
So when I think about the 4 implement pressing specifically, like he's really efficient and quick with his cleaning and pressing and stuff. And Pat moves really quickly. He's very explosive. I don't know if his elbow is better.
I still don't even know if he's competing at this
I really hope he is. I know that he's been having bursitis in his elbow. Yeah,
swallowed it up, and he couldn't even push the door.
Yeah, so I really hope that he's competing.
Can reach the doorknob.
Kept hitting with his forehead.
I really want to beat him, so I hope.
Hopefully call me Fat Pat, you piece of shit.
Hopefully he makes it and isn't crying too much about his little elbow. But yeah, so that's
an average size elbow, Tyler. Come on.
It's actually a huge elbow because he's so, like compared to his body, it's fucking. Like,
yeah. No, I feel bad because it was bugging him and going to Magnus. I'm correct, and then it really just let go.
Yeah, he said it was better, but I mean, it's you never know, right?
Have you ever dealt with bursitis?
No, luckily.
No, I never have either.
But he, so there's a couple guys in that show that are. It'll be interesting. It'll be like there'll be a couple guys who will give me a run for my money on certain events, I think, and there's always it's a sport. Who knows?
Yeah.
Anything can happen in any given show,
never know.
right? So yeah. Maybe a guy. There's a dark horse guy that I'm not even thinking about. There's guys in there that are competing that I don't know. I have no idea who they are.
Yeah.
There's a couple guys.
That's surprising.
I was shocked too. There's a guy. There's one guy signed up. Never met him. Never heard of him. No Instagram. No social media. So he's just like a phantom. So I have no idea what I'm going to be getting into.
Who's that?
Interesting.
Ben.
Oh yeah, I've
Never met the guy before, which is great because
Dave Deakley.
What I see from that is that
Max backdrag.
we're reaching people that we don't know.
Yeah,
which is nice. You know what I mean? Like it's nice to see that there's.
Well, I want to see how Chris Godwin signed up, right? Correct.
Yes.
I want to see how he's improved from last year because he hasn't competed this year.
He's very strong.
Yeah, statically he's I would say
he's
the strongest guy there in terms of squat deadlift.
Yeah.
Because of his powerlifting background.
Yeah.
But see how it translates.
Yeah, he was just untrained in the implements last year.
Yeah.
And which may be the case again this year. We'll have to find out. I'm not sure. Real quick too, shout out to Travis Klassen who built the platform that we're going to be using. So I don't know if you've seen this, Beaks, but the deadlift is going to be so it's a 16-inch pick, and then so you'll hit that, you'll walk. He built steps, so you walk up the steps and all. So you walk up one step, and now you're doing a 13.5-inch pick.
Very cool.
And you walk up the next step, and now you're doing an 11-inch pick, and then you're doing an 8.5-inch pick. So it was we stole it from something that we saw online. We thought it'd be a really cool idea, and Travis made the steps for us and did a great job. I tested them out, or I had one of my girls test them out, and they it was awesome. They turned out
pretty cool.
Yeah, it was really
solid. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's something different that we can do. We really want to try to make it so that. The SCC shows, like very often we have to use sort of like rudimentary events because there's so many people, and this would end up with a lot of people too. But we really have to be mindful of like, okay, we can't have something because we are changing for every weight class and it just takes too long. So we have to be kind of like think with efficiency. And with shows like this one, we can be like, all right, what's kind of something crazy that we can do that's different?
Yeah.
Like, hence max yoke and hence this ascending deadlift and stuff. Which I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to the deadlift and see.
It'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
Yeah.
Do a deficit deadlift.
The last one will be a deficit.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's great.
And actually, we had to modify because it would have been a 2-inch deficit.
Yeah, it'll be about an inch or a half an inch to an inch deficit.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, so it'll be tough for some guys.
That's tough.
Yeah.
It's going to be
675.
Yeah.
So
from a 2-inch deficit.
It's a good.
It'll be a half-inch, right? I think
it's a good weight.
Like that's a rack pull for a lot of.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
So yeah, there's a lot of guys and who will be the Manitoba Strongest Man is going to be. I'm really happy with like the spread of guys. Like the guys who we have there are not a lot of brick house representation. I'm going to go ahead and say that right now, but I think Muriel is actually the only.
She's the one from there.
I think so.
Did Jesse not sign up?
Nope.
No. Who else? Clinton Grad?
Nope.
No, he didn't.
Nope.
Well, that's because he does every comp.
No, I don't know what the story was, but there was a dearth of brick house guys, and there was nobody from out west, and that's okay. It's a
Alan was coming to volunteer, but he just got tied up with work. He just texted me, can't make
fucking
it.
damn it, Alan.
Yeah.
Quit
your job.
Yeah, what the fuck, dude? Commit to this. But it's I truly believe that even if we're talking about say like the top 5 or 6 guys, like we will know at the end of this competition who are the top 6 strongest guys in Manitoba.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I really think that like as much as I would like to have some of the Brickhouse guys or the guys out west or whatever, I really think that this will be whoever's in the top 6 of this one is going to be the strongest 6 guys in Manitoba.
Yeah.
And if you disagree, then fucking compete and show me.
It's valid.
What do we got for time here?
All right.
10 minutes left.
Give or
Peace.
take.
What do you got for me?
Okay, so I was golfing last weekend,
I'm dying here. Sorry.
and
Just sweating.
I was with one of my old running backs. I used to live with him when we were like 20, 21.
Whew, that's old.
And between holes, we were talking about, this hurts and that hurts, and you wake up and, like, I didn't do anything, but my shoulder hurts, and I saw this kid, and he's probably in his 20s, and the guy's never seen a gym in his life. He's a good fat belly, no shoulders, like, I turned to Matt, I'm like, do you think that guy ever knows when something's out of place in his body?
No.
And I'm like, I couldn't live my life like that. But to wake up one morning and be so unaware of myself, just to like not feel it.
Yeah.
I've said before where it's like there's guys like, let's say like my dad or guys like my dad who are not about like physical activity or anything, whatever. One day their back just starts hurting. And then that's just the way it is for the rest of their life. Like, like he's like, they just have a bad back for the rest, or their knee. Like, oh, my knee's been hurting for 3 or 4 years now. Like, it's just like that's
every
just
time it rains.
Yeah, it's just a thing that they just deal with, and because they're not aware that it's like, oh, I could change it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they
like,
don't know. Oh, this can be fixed.
Yeah. But like you have like a sloping shoulder, your pelvis is slightly rotated.
Mm-hmm.
We're all hyper aware of it at all times, and to just be able to walk around like that and be like, yeah, this is normal. Like, I don't even know it exists.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. You could point it to them. They'd be like, "Oh, I didn't realize that."
Yeah,
it's just
yeah. Like I sit in a chair and I'm like, my back's not aligning with my hips.
Right.
And I dwell on it and I think about what I can do to change it. And I'm like, chiro, massage. Can I do it myself? Do I go see Durkach or?
You got a good chiro guy you use?
Yeah, I got 2 good ones.
Yeah. Let me get the number. I wanna.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got one who's like a guy that lifts, bigger guy. So when I need like a good crack, I'll go see Dr. Leslie.
Okay.
And then I want like ART and dry needling, I'll go see Dr. Ledger.
Okay, I'll get
you know Ian, don't you? Dr. Ledger?
I don't know.
Okay. Anyways, I've got one for each need because Ian's told me himself, he's just like, you're too big. Like I can't do a lot of manual manipulation stuff.
But the other guy does.
The other guy is, he'll heat you, stim you, and then give you a good crack. But just one day of my life, I'd like to be completely unaware and not obsess over.
That's how I feel about people who don't like. And I'm not, because I kind of eat crazy right now too because I'm in like trying to gain weight. But people who just don't think about eating, where it's like if you're just like some fucking random white bitch who's just like, and I'm not talking. I'm kind of half referring to the women in my women's group, but like they'll show up at 6:30 p.m. and they'll be working out, and they'll be like, oh, I feel like lightheaded. And I'll be like, really sit down. I'm like, when was the last time you ate? They're like, oh, yesterday, I guess. Yeah, like it was just like, and I was like, what? Like, how could that be? And it's just like, it's amazing to me because it's so far removed from where I am that it's like I'm constantly thinking about what I'm going to eat next and what I'm going to eat and how much I've eaten today and whatever. Yeah. To just be like, I don't really give a fuck. That must be the best feeling in the world. Like, it must just be awesome to be like, to wake up in the morning and like, it's time for breakfast and you're like, I'm not really hungry, and you just don't do it. That must be fucking great because I fucking can't do that.
Although I think sometimes Devin and I fall into that.
Yep. Yeah. If I'm working, I won't eat for 12 hours.
That's crazy.
Like if I'm physically on the site or something, I won't eat. I won't even drink water, and also like, man, I can't. I stop sweating altogether. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, this is probably dangerous now. And I take a sip of water and I just start sweating. I'm like, okay, we're in a danger zone now. But you were the same. Like, I'll work for the whole day and I won't touch food. If I'm going, I just.
But and I could do that.
Yeah, I'm guilty of that.
Like I could speaking of my dad again. Like he doesn't eat until dinner every day.
Yeah.
And I could
That's an old folk. My dad,
That-
same shit.
yeah, it's
That's
just,
an old guy thing.
Yeah.
You get up and he might have something like if he on break at work or whatever, but like nothing that's like substantial. And then he eats dinner, and then he has like something again later that night as a snack or whatever.
And then they plow a big thing of ice cream before bed.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Can't
And
wait to
I
get
just
there.
like,
Watching Cheers with a bowl
Yeah.
of ice cream.
Oh man, I haven't.
but I would love to. I would
good.
I
love
used to
to
watch
fucking
all the
do
time.
that.
Yeah.
I would love to fucking do that, just to like not give a fuck about eating and just be like,
Yeah.
whatever. Like I'll eat whenever I eat.
That'll come one day. The
Or
guilt-
not even being mindful of
Can't
what you
wait.
eat. Like,
The guilt might just.
it's just what's there.
You
Just
think
whether-
they'll ever
yeah.
come for us? Like
I'll-
I think because the guilt of doing it so long will always be in your subconscious.
I think so.
A little bit, yeah.
I think.
I think it'll start to slide a little bit. Like
Yeah.
even when I was like younger and like had like abs and like that was like a priority for me and stuff. I remember having a very similar conversation with another wrestler that I was driving with, where we would have to constantly stop and go to grocery stores to get like food, like actual food. And the other guys that were in the back seat with us, these two big fat guys, they're like, just anywhere we stop, I don't really give a fuck.
Yeah.
And so it would be like we would go to the superstore and they would run across the street to A&W or whatever.
Yeah.
And we would just say like, wouldn't that be fucking great just to not matter? You just eat whatever you want to eat, whatever's in front of you, whatever's affordable, whatever, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it was just like, and now that I'm in that life, I don't like it that much anymore. But it's
Yeah.
always, it's an always grass is greener type deal, I guess.
Yeah.
Because you come to a point where you just get tired of eating. Like at your point.
That's my thing. I'm fucking super over it. Like, I know everybody wants to have a good laugh at me for not shitting as much as you guys do or whatever the fuck, but
That really caught on.
yeah, it's like
a
I
lot
got,
of-
I think like 4 or 5 people mentioned that to me. But listen, motherfucker, I weigh 305 fucking pounds. I eat more than every last one of
Because
you
he's
guys.
literally
okay?
full of shit.
I eat more than I eat more than every last one of you motherfuckers. So,
Yeah.
except for Tristan and Jeffers when they were here last time, they were obviously eating more than me. But I forgot where I was going with that. It would just be fucking great to just like not concern yourself with it and just be like, I mean, that's like, I'm sure it'd be kind of the same thing with like the gym too, where if it's just like you could just go days and days without like you just stay at home. It doesn't even matter to you. Like you just like there's no twinge in your head of being like I really should go fucking lift. You know what I mean? Like just doesn't bother you in the slightest.
Yeah.
That would be like a dream scenario, I think. I don't know. What's our time there, Bert?
Yeah. Yeah, we can probably wrap it up.
4 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I
Let's
got
touch on,
We're really pulling at strings.
Yeah, let's touch on Deadlift for Dreams. That's coming up in 3 weeks.
Deadlifts for
4
Dreams
weeks.
is, it's right around the corner, 4 weeks.
4 weeks.
And some people need to pull up their bootstraps, pull up their socks with the fundraising.
Who, me? I got.
No, sorry, I'm just looking at you guys because I'm
How much you
talking
got?
to you.
Oh, okay.
What do you got?
I don't know what you're at.
I don't know, like $300.
Yeah, you got to pull
Well,
in
you,
straps.
well, you met your total.
I met what I needed.
There's a lot of people who don't have the bare minimum, and
I set a big
I think
total.
almost everyone from my gym does. I think
I
everyone.
set a big total and didn't hit it yet.
I think almost everyone from my gym.
But
does.
I got a corporate sponsor the other day. He just actually sent.
Yeah.
So that was kind of nice.
but the 250 minimum, it's not hard to get.
I'll tell you what. Instead
need
of
a pulse.
instead of raising lots of money, I'll just do a sweet deadlift and I'll make it a show for everybody. How about that?
That'll probably
I'll
help,
undercook.
Spencer.
I'll undercook your chicken. Yeah.
I'm gonna.
Can you deadlift them to Disneyland? Hold on, buddy. Going for a ride.
I'll say whatever Devin does. I'm gonna put like 200 pounds 200 pounds on it, and I'll
Done.
deadlift,
Deal.
I'll deadlift that.
No, whatever I do, you have to give an all-out pull 200 pounds more.
You know what? If you go to Iron Age, actually, this will help you raise some money for the event.
Yeah.
We do have a dunk tank this year, and my plan is, if you want to see someone dunked, you make a pledge, and they get dunked. Maybe we auction you off
Sure.
for the dunk
Yeah, we
tank.
can do that.
You're damn
Yeah.
right. Yeah, I would do that for my gym too.
Yeah.
If anybody thinks
Auction me and you off.
they got a wicked arm. And
Then
can-
it's competitive. See who gets auctioned out for more.
yeah, sure. That's not fair because you just like
So
everyone,
many side bets with
everyone,
you.
everyone that you know is rich and everyone that I know is poor. So it's not like everyone that lives in St. Malo is rich and everyone lives in Winnipeg is
Just
poor.
people rolling in and dropping thousands of dollars.
And actually, I do want to mention one thing before we sign off here. For the rest of August, which is almost done now already, but in the month of September, for anybody who's competed at Manitoba Strongman events, we're doing 30 days for free at my gym at Iron Age.
Saw that. Tried to repost it, but you don't tag the podcast in anything.
Piece
Ever.
of shit.
Didn't even think about it. Literally didn't even cross my mind until you just said that. But I will. I'll do that.
Hey, let's help our friend out. No, wait.
But I really I'm trying to put my money where my mouth is, and I think that we have the best facility in Winnipeg for strongman. I think we have the best coaching staff. I think we have the best competitors, and I want other people to see that without having to make any kind of commitment to it. You can pop in. There's no contract. There's no nothing. Just literally, I'm going to write down the day that you started, and I'm going to write down the day that you're finished, and then you can decide from there if you want to stick with the winning team.
I think it's great you're doing that.
Yeah.
I saw the post. I actually thought it's great.
I'm just gonna try something, and if And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I don't give a fuck. So with that being said, we'll
wrap it up there.
sign off for another.
Next week we'll be talking about Manitobas.
Yep. Sign off for another thrilling edition of Strong and Petty. Dave, you got anything you want to wrap up with?
No, I'm coaching my first football game this weekend.
Oh yeah, you're coaching
Really?
the kids, right?
Game number 1 with the
What-
Pee Wee Falcons.
What age group's that?
11 and 12.
11, 12?
Wow, awesome.
Excited and shockingly nervous.
Really?
I'm such a control freak.
Right.
More nervous than
when
playing down there?
And well, more nervous because when I was playing, it's just I can do the things that I know I have to do, or I didn't do it. But now it's just like, hey, kid whose brain barely functions, go out and do this. And then I just have to wash my hands and hope that they get it.
Right.
And I can't go on the field and do it for them.
Yeah.
And I'm actually like quite nervous about it.
What a fun thing, though. I never really even thought about that, but that makes perfect sense for you. Is like something to try your hand at as the coaching game. Why
Yeah.
not? Like
It's really exciting. It's
the
really
on-field
rewarding.
coaching stuff.
Hand
Yeah.
down the knowledge.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trying to give back to the sport.
Yeah,
That's
cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll have to pop in and watch one of those games. That'd be fun to check out.
Yeah.
Devin, anything to sign off on your end?
No, just Deadlift Dreams, fundraise. Get it together.
All right, so
Yep.
get it together. On that note, we'll leave it there. And I love you, MPA. I'm just fucking playing. You know that. And
Backtracking. Backtracking.
yeah, they
I don't
know
love anybody.
They know it's all fun and games. Anyway, Strong and Petty. See you guys next time.